All right, next, if you recall, we didn't finish our ads. We didn't finish the keyword research either. We'll get there, don't worry. But if you recall, we didn't finish our ad because I told you, right, that we can add more stuff here. This is how we track. So even though we're good now, we will get sales, everything will be attributed to you, like we've done the skeleton. You want to see where the sales came from, right? So that's what we have to do here. So let's go back to our ads. Let's click on add URL options, and we have to add stuff to the end. So what we'll be using is something called click IDs, sub IDs, okay? So these are things that are separated by slashes. For example, you could say sub ID 1 / sub ID 2 / sub ID 3. If you recall, in one of the previous lessons, I showed you what that's gonna look like, right? If you go back in here and you click on this link, if you recall here, we said Microsoft, right? So this is where we're gonna see the data. Now I'm gonna give you kind of the tokens that I use, and we can go from there, okay? So let me write all this down, okay? Bear with me. I'm gonna write all this down, and then I'm gonna explain to you what all this means, where you can find other tokens, how it works, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type in keyword here. I'm gonna say slash. I'm gonna say query string, also in square brackets. I'm gonna say slash. I'm gonna say, you can say ad group, or you can say, I use network. And then I'm gonna say slash ad group. And I'm gonna say slash add ID, okay? So this is what I use. Now, what does this mean? What the heck does this mean? Okay, so let's start off with keyword. This keyword, okay, what I did here in squiggly brackets, once you start running the ads, and once people click on your ads, this value here will be replaced with the actual keyword that got the click, okay? So why don't we test it? Let's go ahead and go over here and paste it here. And we can add a keyword, maybe not, I don't know. Okay, let's just click enter. We can't see real data anyway because we're not actually clicking on our ads, so we can't see that anyway. But I'm gonna refresh the page here, and yeah, we got 4 bot clicks already. Over here, see there? All these values will be replaced. So this keyword will be replaced with the actual keyword that generated us the click and ultimately the sale. That's the goal. It's not to see clicks, it's to see the sales. So we will know. I changed my bid to 5 cents, by the way, so that ads don't run while I'm just, this is just a test campaign. I'm showing you the process. I will show you an example later on, but for now I'm just showing you this. So which of these keywords converted, right? So we might realize that, hey, this keyword sucks. It doesn't convert at all. And this keyword converts. This is the one that got us the most sales. So this is that data that's going to come in handy right here. It says keyword. Next one is query string. Now query string is actually more important because query string is what the user actually types in. So if we go to Bing, and let me close some of these tabs, guys. This is just affiliate research, maybe I'll keep. But over here, we type in diabetes solution. We type enter right here, some ads. So this is the query string, what I typed in. So let's imagine somebody's keyword is diabetes, right? That's their keyword. So their keyword triggered their ad to show up for my search term. But this is my search term, diabetes solutions. This isn't a keyword. This could be a keyword that they used to get a click, but this is a search term. This is what I typed in. That's the main thing. It could be a keyword, it could not be. I don't know. The advertiser knows. For us, these are our keywords. But guess what? Let me go ahead and copy this, and just to show you, I'm going to go ahead and paste it. Control 2 diabetes solution. So look at this. This here, control type 2 diabetes, is the search term. And this here, right, our ad is going to show up because we have a keyword that will trigger our ads to show up. So here, control type 2 diabetes, this is the keyword, right, that triggers our ad, but this is the search term. And in this case, this is what is called query string, right? So let's go, where's ClickMagick? That is what is called query string. So what the user actually types in. So this is important, guys, because you might have one keyword, but query strings might be different. So for example, you might say that, for control type 2 diabetes, and again, I'll show you examples of what I mean by this. But someone could be typing in control type 2 diabetes solution, and then someone could be typing in someone could be typing in buy control type 2 diabetes solution. So both of these search terms triggered one keyword, right? This is the same keyword. This keyword will trigger both of those search terms. But one of those search terms was profitable, one of them was not. So let's imagine that somebody buys when they type this in, buy control type 2 diabetes solution, whereas when somebody types in control type 2 diabetes solution, they're not looking to buy, and they didn't buy. So that is why this query string is important. It goes into the detail, the minute detail of exactly what somebody typed in, because that's what you're looking for, what somebody typed in exactly. Now, this is much easier done with Microsoft. Google Ads is much harder to see search terms. For one, they don't have this token. For one, they don't have a query string token, which totally sucks. Second of all, they are hiding a lot of it. So they don't reveal a lot of search terms at all. So in Microsoft Ads, once I get into this lesson where I show you around, you can see the search terms here. With Google Ads, you can't. You can, but they hide a lot of them. And recently, with their latest update, maybe a few months ago or a year ago or so, they started hiding a lot more search terms. So it's much more harder with Google than it is with Bing, but that is why we're starting with Bing. It's good for beginners, allows you to exactly see what somebody's typing in. Moreover, let's suppose somebody's typing in control type 2 diabetes game, right? Let's suppose this is irrelevant. We're not selling a game. We're selling a product that people have to pay for, right? As an example, I don't think anybody's actually going to be typing in game, but let's imagine. So you don't want to turn off this whole keyword, right? You don't want to just shut off and say, oh no, this keyword isn't working, because there was only one bad search term when someone typed in game, right? So I'm going to get into this maybe in the next lesson, negative keywords. This is how you prevent stuff like this from happening, but this is what this query string is, okay? Here it is, query string, okay? Next, you have network. This is that option, if you remember, I showed you whether it's Bing, AOL, and Yahoo only, or anything other than Bing, AOL, and Yahoo, or both of them together. That's what this is. This is going to tell you exactly where the sale came from. So you could say, hey, all my sales came from Bing. I'm just going to shut off all their search partners. They're not working for me, for example, or vice versa. Bing isn't working. Only their partners like DuckDuckGo are working. Okay. So that's the idea. Ad group. This isn't super relevant right now. That's just going to give you the name of the ad group. So our ad group name here is, we named it type 2 diabetes. So once you have a lot of different ad groups, that's when this can come in handy. You will know which exact ad group got you the sale. This won't matter too much because you will see the keywords, right? Because you will know that, hey, well, if a keyword is type 2 diabetes solution, it has to come from this ad group, because that's why we're doing tightly knit ad groups, right? So this is going to come more in handy once we start to dissect our campaign a little bit more. Once we start separating into gender and age groups. Okay, I'll show you how to do that very quickly and easily. And you will be able to see which genders, which age groups converted. You can't in Microsoft Ads without a third-party tracking system, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And so that's when this will come in handy, this ad group, okay? So keep it there for now. It's not super important right now, but it will be. And then you have ad ID, which, look, we're doing tests, right? We're testing different ads. You want to see which ad converts better. So what you want to do is add this ad ID column. So if you go into columns here, okay? And you can add columns anywhere, at the ad group level, at the ad level, campaign level. But if you go to ads here, and you go to columns, click on modify columns, and under attributes, you will find this ad ID. So you have to click add. So if I remove it, you will see something like this, okay, say add. So you have to click add, all right, and it's going to be added here. You can save this set of columns as like default. And then you click apply, you click replace, and here's your ad ID. And so what you're going to see in ClickMagick is once you see a sale or you see clicks, it's going to give you the exact number of this ad. And then what you can do is you can come back and you could say, okay, well, this ad is performing well, this ad is not. What do I do, right? So that's the idea. That's what you want to do. And that's what we'll be using. Now, if you want to see the full complete list of their tokens, I'm going to add this URL in the description of this video, below this video somewhere. So go to this URL or just type in Microsoft Ads tokens, go in here, and over here you have all the tokens. So you have a campaign ID. Right? Looks familiar? ID. How do you find ID? What the heck is that? Well, let's go into all campaigns. Let's go into the campaigns tab here. And again, what you would want to do is go into columns. Let's see where columns is right here. Go into modify columns, and you want to find your campaign ID right here. You're going to add it. Okay. And you can save the set. Now this, you probably won't need campaign ID. Okay. So I actually probably shouldn't even save it. You don't need campaign ID because we already have ad group and keywords, right? So obviously you will know that, like, if a keyword is cure diabetes, it's definitely from a diabetes campaign, right? So that's not super important, but that's what you have, right? So you have all these options. Then you have something better, which is a campaign name, not the campaign ID. So if you have an option for a name, it's always better, because that way, it's going to tell you exactly what it is. Like if our name is Diabetes Freedom Course, we're going to know exactly what it is. Whereas if it returns an ID number, we have to go back to Microsoft to find it. So whenever you have a choice, always go for the name option. In this case, unfortunately, you don't have like an ad option where it gives you the name of the ad, so you have to go by ad ID. But here you have ad group ID, and here look, they have the option for ad group. We're going to use that. Match type we don't need in our case because we know that all my keywords are broad. But hey, if you have all different types of keywords, if you have see expanded. Oh, I thought they had broad match modifier. I was like, what? Because they don't show broad match modifier anywhere. That's only something I showed you. If you have all different types of keywords, like if you have exact and phrase and broad, and you want to kind of see which one does better, you can definitely use match type. You can use bid match type. Yeah, all these options. Device, mobile. Let's see, ad ID. Yeah, so here's the one we're using, ad ID. Keyword. Yeah, I don't know why it says keyword default. Just use keyword. Just use what I showed you there. Here's the query string. And where is network? Let me show you network. Device network right here. Okay, so yeah, so it's gonna say O for owned and operated Bing, S for syndicated, A for audience. That's audience network placements. We're not gonna cover that in this course. Like I said, I have a YouTube video. Maybe I'll make another course on this later on, but my favorite is search. We're gonna stick with that. So that's the idea, right? So let's go back here. I hit save there, right? So let's go in here. Yeah. Did I not hit save? I thought I hit save. Let me look at this one. Oh, I guess I didn't hit save. Okay, so let's go ahead and just redo it here. So we're gonna go add URL options. We're just gonna add it again. Let me scroll down a bit, and I'm gonna say, did I not hit save? I swear I hit save. This is the right campaign, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I guess we'll do it again. So query string, then we'll say, what did I say? I said network. Then I said ad group, and then I use ad ID. And then what you could do is you could go ahead and copy it, so Control C. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, you can hit test again and just see if it works. So now we saved it, and then if you go here and test it, it should say the same thing. You can test it again. Follow through all the steps that I told you if this doesn't work, right? I told you that in the previous lesson. Click cancel. Since we saved it, now we can go back here and we can add it here. So we can paste it. Now, what you can also do is if you have many different ads, I do suggest you only test 2 ads at a time unless you're getting like lots, like maybe thousands of clicks a day, then you can do more. If you're doing less than that, stick with 2 ads at a time. This is enough to kind of get an idea of what works, what doesn't, which one gets more sales, right? You want to look at sales. Clicks don't really matter. You can get less clicks and more sales. Okay, so always pay attention to sales, which is why we're using ClickMagick to track the ID. You will know the ad ID. What you could do is if you do have a lot of ads, let's say you want to change the tracking template for all your ads, like if you have many different ad groups, you can click on this option here to select everything, go to edit, go to change URL options. And then over here, here's your tracking template. You're going to go ahead and paste it here. Okay, set value. You're going to paste the tracking template here, click save. And now it's going to change the tracking template for everything. Okay, so again, we only have 2 ads, it doesn't matter here, but once you have more ads, that's the process. So I think that's it for this case. Let me show you around kind of, where to access all the keywords and all this stuff in the next video. I'll quickly do it. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then after that, we have to finish up with the keyword research because we only have 1 ad group. So I'm going to show you the process there. All right, I will see you soon.